Hello, today we will be experimenting of how to make soap. And the idea that I'm going to do is do the melt and pour soap. But you see this jar? This is an old garlic mince jar. And I also got an extra jar with Miracle Whip that I'm going to empty out. I don't eat mayonnaise. But the reason why I'm putting them in jars is because I want to see how to make it and then use it as a brush cleaner for my makeup brushes. So if you would like to see or follow along with me to see how this works out, continue watching. So the first thing that you'll need, of course, is your container, your melt and pour base, which I chose the olive oil glycerin. They do have it in white, they do have it in clear. The olive oil has just a little cloud tint to it. You will need alcohol with a spray bottle. Scent, if you want scent, I chose jasmine. And then your color. They say you can use food coloring. I chose not to because they said food coloring can bleed onto your hands if you're using it as a hand soap, as well as onto your makeup brushes, whatever you're using, it can bleed onto it. So of course I chose not to do that. You can use any essential oil, but I want to use coconut oil. Then the container, which I think I'm going to change that. That's what I was going to use to weigh it. Since these jars, this is a 5-ounce jar and this is an 8-ounce jar. So I wanted to weigh it so I don't use more than needed. But I think I'm going to take this away and use my Pyrex glass measuring cup, just because it has a spout. That way once I melt it in a microwave, it'll be easy to pour it into these containers. So let's get started. First thing you want to do is cut the amount you need, and I'm going to move some things around because I want you to be able to see me cutting. And they also come like in little squares when you take it out, so that kind of helps you cut what you need a little neater. And I'm just using a regular old knife. It's soap, you can wash it. And I'm doing one container at a time. So the first one, since it's a 5-ounce jar, I'm going to cut 5 ounces, which once it's melted, I would probably lose a little bit, which that's fine because I don't want it filled completely to the top. So that's why I'm only doing 5 ounces. It may be a tad bit less as well. Because I'm not going to cut into a block just to get 5. Like that right there is 4.9. I know if I cut a whole, I'm not going to cut a piece of it just to get a little 5 ounce. I mean, just a little 0.1 ounce. A 0.1. So I'm not going to mess with that. Okay, the next thing you want to do is to make sure that you seal it, cover it, to keep your moisture in before you stick it in the microwave. this is just the clear saran wrap, the clear plastic wrap. And you stick it in a microwave, and probably everyone's microwave is different, but I'm going to say every 10 to 30 seconds you need to check it and stir it. And I am following instructions from reading online, several different sites, not one particular, so I can't link any links to you or tell you where to go, because I've been looking and reading probably for the last 2 weeks, because I hate messing up, wasting money. Even though it wasn't a lot, it still was money. So get ready to put this in the microwave, and I'll be back once I do have it melted. Be careful not to burn it. It can burn just like food. So we will be back. Okay, I came back real quick. I stopped the microwave. It's best to go ahead and get your alcohol ready, because once everything is warm, or has melted, excuse me, once everything has melted, you don't want to be trying to gather all your ingredients, getting the alcohol ready in a spray bottle. And the reason why you do this, I read that that's to get rid of any bubbles that may form on your soap, and to make sure it's spraying. That's why I just did that, to make sure it is spraying. And then get your container ready. Like this one isn't ready, since that's the first one I'm going to work on, is this one for this jar. Then of course, if you're doing the same thing, getting any kind of jar, which this is plastic, so I'm going to let that cool a little bit before I actually pour it in. But if you use glass, of course you can stick it right in. This one I'll be able to just let it stick, pour it right in. But unfortunately not with this one. So I wanted to come back and tell you to make sure you already have everything together and ready, because I didn't make that clear before I put that in the microwave. So I did stop it, so it was on for like, it says 9 seconds, so it hasn't even started to melt. So okay, so I will be back once it melts. Okay guys. Okay, it has completely melted, and for my microwave and for the amount that I used, it took less than a minute. For the what did I use? 4.9 ounces? Yeah, 4.9 ounces. It melted less than 1 minute. Okay, and so now I'm going to add a few drops of jasmine. I'm going to stir it up. It smells really, really good. Ready? But I'm going to add about a teaspoon of coconut oil. And you can have that already melted, but I figured since it will be hot, the base is already kind of warm hot from being just freshly melted, that it would melt it within. And it is doing so. See how you just see a very little chunk now? Okay, and I actually meant to have one more thing ready, so I'm going to cover that up so the heat can stay within. Yeah, my daughter wants me to try to make purple, and we all know blue and red should make purple. Move the camera back. So I'm going to stick 1 drop of blue on one side and 1 drop of red on the other. And I probably should put 2. But we'll find out. And so now I'm going to stir it a little bit more. And if I need some more color, we'll add it in as I go. I have enough scent in. I have enough coconut oil in. And I'm trying to actually let this cool off a little bit because, as I stated earlier, this is plastic. So I don't know how well it can handle the heat. So I'm going to let it cool just a little bit, but enough where I can still pour it. Smells good. I think I want to add just a couple more drops, just to make sure it has a really good smell. And I think I just want to go ahead and put an extra drop of each. And my goal is I'm going to try to swirl where it's clear but swirled colors in it. So I'm hoping that will work out. So I will be back once this cools off enough for me to be able to pour without melting. So I will be back. Okay, now we're back. I'm going to scoot the camera back just a little bit. And I believe and I'm hoping that it's cooled off enough. So I'm just going to pour and see how it mixes up. And I have a skewer. It almost looks like I'm getting, oh, it's so pretty, but it's on the bottom. Oh, darn. I'm trying to see if I can get it to come through a little bit. Oh, it's not purple. I definitely didn't get purple. Getting more like blue, black. It's like it needs more red. I'm not a good color person, so what I'm gonna do, I think, is let it cool off a little bit more, or maybe I should just stir it up in that way to just be purple. Okay, yeah, definitely needs more red. The blue has overpowered it. So I probably should have had 2 reds to blue, 1 blue. I know my daughter doesn't mind. She wanted purple. I just wanted to make it clear so we could see it. But now, we won't really be able to see that it's clear. It's just going to look like a dark bar of soap. Which is fine. It's just for makeup, but the makeup brushes. So, as far as my color scheme, what I was trying to do, that's definitely a fail. But as far as the soap, It didn't melt my jar. My jar is not even soft. So I'm very, very happy about that. And I'm going to use the alcohol in a minute once I get through trying to see if I can at least make this a pretty deep purple for her. And that's all I'm going to use. I'm not going to use any more coloring. So if this doesn't make it purple, then she just doesn't get purple. She gets whatever comes out of it. And scraping this off the sides just because I want to make this as neat as possible. Just because it's for makeup brushes does not mean it don't have to be neat. I'm just scraping it off around the edges. And it's starting to set a little bit. I can kind of tell. So I'm just going to spray that. Well, she didn't get purple, unfortunately, y'all. But she got soap. So she did get soap, but just not purple. At least not what I was looking for. So that's what it looks like. Kind of, well, I guess it is purple a little bit because it kind of reminds me of grape juice. How grape juice looks really dark and then at a certain angle you can see that it's purple. So she kind of got it but didn't get it in the design that I wanted. I wanted it swirl with the clear. Next time I'm going to go by the white melt and pour. So stay tuned. I'm going to get ready to do all the same steps again, but in the clear jar. And I'm probably going to use red only because that's my favorite color. She wanted purple, but red is my favorite color, so I will probably use the red, but I'm going to try it a little bit differently. So stay tuned. Okay, we're back. Getting ready to do the second one. And this one, since it was more product to melt, this one took about 1 minute and 30 seconds. And I put less than 8 ounces, even though the glass container is 8 ounces. I put like about 7.2, I believe, or 7.4. It's somewhere off in there. Okay, and I'm just stirring to make sure it's melted. And I'm going to go ahead and add this amount of coconut oil. So it's more than a teaspoon, probably 2. And that is all I'm going to add because I don't want too much oil in to where it won't set. I'm going to add the jasmine. They say some oils can make it more cloudy, but I am using the olive oil glycerin soap, so it already had a cloud to it anyway. And being that we're coloring it, well, I'm coloring it, doesn't make a big deal anyway. Smells good. I want to get some citrus smells. I'm going to add another drop or so just to make it stronger, just because it is in a bigger jar. And that's all I'll be using of that. I won't be adding no more coconut oil either. And I didn't mention, once it dries, once you pour it out from the first jar that I made, once you pour it out, it leaves a film. Once it cools, it's a film like a skin. And I just pulled it out and I reused it in this, the skin part. And I can pour this one before it cools. That way, when it does cool, that skin layer, I can catch that on video and show you, and I may be able to still stick it in the jar. That way I'm getting all my soap. Okay, so we're going to pour this in. Due to it is a glass, so I don't have to wait for it to cool off. And it's already filled to the top. Let's see here. I'm just going to go ahead and pour this extra into this other jar so that I have a top layer that's thin and clear. So I'll just show you what I was talking about, but I won't be able to stick it in there because, as you guys can see, it's right to the tip of the neck. So once this cools, then I will show you. I don't want to put that in there, and I don't want to put my color in yet because I'm going to attempt one more time to swirl it, but I want to give it a chance to kind of cool just a little bit. If it works, yay. If it doesn't, okay. Again, it's for my makeup brushes, so it doesn't have to be super pretty. I still think this is a little too warm, but I don't want to wait too late. So put one drop in, and let's just see. Okay, it just burst. Let's see, I'm going to try to hold the camera a little bit so you guys can kind of see. And all I'm trying to do is get a little bit of a swirl. But it didn't go anywhere. It didn't go down further. Just stand on top. So I won't be trying to do color for a while, so I don't want to waste my color, because I'm pretty sure a lot of things can be made and it can be really pretty. Just, it's my first time ever trying to make soap. So I still don't consider it a fail, just because it's still soap and it still can be used for what its purpose is meant for. So thanks for watching.